Seems like everybody is here. Okay. Yeah, if somebody is not here, the door is open. So can I hear a very loud good morning from everyone? I know it's a Tuesday morning. So a very good morning to all of you. Morning. It wasn't loud enough. Loud. Good morning, everyone. Good morning. Thank you, Robert, for saying good morning, Professor. Okay, so let's begin our week. Yes, please. Great. Try and sit with your group members. If there is no place, you can sit anywhere. Wow. Why is the front seat empty? Why is the front seat empty? If you would like to know your answers, you can connect with some of my students who are researching why do students not sit in front. Lulu, I don't know, psych major, you know Lulu? Lou Kehan? Ask Lulu, that's her research. So she'll give you an answer for this. It's okay. Let's begin without wasting our time. Ian? Yes, you were not here last week, right? You okay? Karen? Esther? Kim? Nancy? Oh, Nancy, yes. Muen? Robert? Kelly? Tim? Christine? Yuki? Lee Chen? April? Karen? Nancy? The other Nancy? Claire? Vicky? Chloe? Blair? Cassandra? Corey? Okay. Gray? Yan? Giona? Zoe? Emma? Vivi? Louisa? You look very nice. Elsa? Colin? Okay. So add and drop is gone. Yeah? So these are the students who are going to stay. There are two who are not showing up, which is okay. All right. Let's begin our class today, but there is one thing before we move forward. Last week, you all remember what were we doing in our last class? This is the third week. In week 1, we had an introduction and an overview of the course. Week 2, what did we do? When you speak, please turn on your microphones. What did we do last week? That was week 2. What were we talking about? Puberty. Excellent. You remember that word, right? We were talking about adolescents' physical development, okay? And puberty is a major part of physical development. We also talked about something. Growth spurts. Yes. We talked about the differences between boys and girls, how girls' growth spurt begins earlier than boys, okay? Now, we are done with the physical. Now, today we are going to move to brain and cognition. Remember the 3 terms I had introduced you in the very first class? Cognitive, socio-emotional, right? And physical. So it's our time to begin with cognitive development of adolescents. Now, when we talk about cognitive development, we are talking about how adolescents think. What are your thoughts? How do you make sense of things in your life? But we will also talk about the physical structure of brain and how does brain work. For that, remember I keep telling you, you need to keep revising your Psych 1000 class. Remember in Psych 1000, you've done cognitive development using Piaget, Vygotsky, right? And you looked at the brain structure, how brain looks like. So I'm not going to go in detail about the concepts that you have already learned in Psych 1000, but we are going to build our knowledge on that, okay? This was a reminder slide for me. Attendance is done. A brief revision, what we did in the last class is done. Assignment. Is everyone done with the first assignment? Yes, awesome. It wasn't a difficult assignment. It is like you have to interview, and it is very personal and very reflective. I look forward to reading your assignments by the end of this week, okay? So, what are the things that we will be covering in today's class? We've got almost an hour and 10 minutes now. We will be revisiting Piaget. I had given you some pre-readings, and I hope you all had a look at it. You didn't have to spend a lot of time because you've already done that in GE 1000. We will quickly learn about what metacognition is. I am sure those who have taken other courses in psychology, like psychology of learning, you might be familiar with the term metacognition. Okay, the most important thing which might be new for some of you is Perry's model of cognitive development, how adolescents think. I had shared pre-reading, and I expect that you have gone through it. Okay, these are important things. All the models and theories we discuss in class are very important for your quizzes, so do not overlook. Pay attention, take some time out and read them. We will talk about problem solving and critical thinking in adolescence, and we will talk about social cognition. This is something, again, I hope you did it in your Psych 1000. If you did not, I find this the most interesting part of adolescence cognition. So let's begin with this. Do you remember you have a Google Excel sheet, bit.ly/psych2110? I've given you a link, right? I'm going to share that link again on your WeChat. I would like you to go there as fast as you can and answer me this question. Your answer can be as funny, as awkward, as stupid as it can be, okay? So, those who do not have the link, I'll share the link. You have to go on that link. I'm sorry, my screen, because I just came out of my presentation mode. So the question is, I'm going to show the question again. If you could have a third eye, you've got two eyes, right? If you could have third eye, where would you like it to be? Okay? Keep your answer as original as it can be, right? And as I said, you don't have to worry about that answer being great and too correct. The link I have said, always keep it saved. Okay, there. So please check your WeChat. I'm sharing the link, but we do a lot of discussion on that link, so keep it saved. Okay, we do not have much time, so do it as fast as you can. I'm going back to that link, and let me see your responses. I have shared the link. Please go to that Google Sheet, and I am creating a sheet which says third eye. Please go write your name and share your responses. I already see some people there. Write your name and look, if you do not want your name to be known, I'm happy. You can do it anonymously. But I would like to see at least, we are 28, 30 in this class. I would like to see 30 responses. I'm sorry again, you can't see the screen. So, where would you like your third eye to be is the question. And here we all can see. Feel free to go anonymous. You do not want anyone to know your name. I'm okay with that. I would like your answers here. Now, what is the question? I will flash the question. It's here. If you could have a third eye, where would you like it to be? Okay? It doesn't have to be a great answer. It has to be something that comes to your mind. Yeah, Isar, I can put you in the group so you have access to the link if you would like to answer. Robert, can you share the link with him? Thank you. We do not have much time. As fast as you can, quickly. If you could have a third eye, where would you like it to be? Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Quick, quick, quick. It is okay to be, it's okay to have one word answer as long as I know. Karen says she would like it to be on her hand. Someone says on the back, but maybe you can, Cassandra, back, here, here, here. Where would you like it to be? I would like it to be on the back of my head. Nancy, yes. Is this other Nancy or the first Nancy? Which Nancy's answer? Back of my head, back of my neck, Iona says. A vertical third eye between the two eyes. Great. Back side of my head. Kim says on the forehead. Do I have any interesting answers? Tim says on my palm. All right, thank you. Quick, you can't be thinking so much. Whatever comes to your mind first would be your answer. All right, I would think almost 85 to 90% of you have this answer on the back of my head, right? Well, you know why did you choose that? So if you become a teacher and you're writing on the whiteboard, you can see what students are doing. Or when you are a mom or a parent, father, you can see what your kids are doing. Is that the reason? Anyways, I always appreciate the answer on my hand. I like that answer. If I could have it, I think I would have it on my hand. You know how? If my phone falls down, I can just slip my hand under the table and find my phone. This is a great participation. Thank you for writing. We will come back to it maybe later to discuss why did you think so. All right? So, let's go back to something interesting. In my previous university, some students in my psych class ran this experiment with younger students, younger than you. So they were like 4 to 6 years old. Some of them were even 9 to 10 years as well. When they were asked this question, you know what was their response? What do you think could be the response of very young children, 4 to 6, 7 years old? Do you know what was their response? Ew, gross. We can't have 3 eyes. No, it is not possible. Next to my left eye, I don't know. Somebody said on my forehead, but most of them had difficulty responding to this question. And they were like, you, how can you have 3 eyes? It's like, would you like to have your nose display on your forehead? It sounds really yucky, right? Why do you think those students answered like that, but you all could guess innovative answers? Why do you think this could have happened? Come on, quick. You can turn on your microphone to share your answer. Yes, Robert, you want to say something. Do you have a microphone? Yes. You can, yes, you have to turn it on, otherwise your response will not be recorded.
Okay, so maybe their brain is not developed enough to have some imaginary situation. Yeah.
Thank you. Isn't it? Do you all agree? Do you all agree with Robert's answer? Remember Piaget, right? So we are talking about the survey that I just talked about. We are talking about a pre-operational stage. And that stage is marked with certain features which includes incapability of young children to think in abstract terms. Abstract means something which is not very clear, or it is very difficult for them to hypothesize. You guys can hypothesize, right? If I say, hey guys, imagine if there is a fire in this room, what are you going to do? You're not going to argue with me, hey professor, no, how can there be fire in this room? No, it's not possible. Like, or if I say, if this room is flooded, you're going to say, no professor, how it can be flooded? There's no rain, there is no sea. You guys are capable of hypothetical, critical thinking, right? Also, keep in mind, I'm not going through all the stages, right? Because I believe that you all understand. These are the 2 stages that we are concerned in adolescent psychology course. Concrete operational stage, just so that we can compare what pre-adolescents might think like, but the final stage, formal operational stage. You guys are all on formal operational stage, okay? So the other concepts that we have already done were Piaget's concepts about schemas. Everyone knows that. A mental framework that is useful in organizing and interpreting new information. I hope you did not forget assimilation and accommodation. This is how young children make sense and make meaning of the things they see, they learn, they work with. Now, as I said, the final stage, those who forgot, this is the final stage, which is 11 years of age through adulthood. We will talk about cognitive development surrounding this stage. So at this stage, hypothetical deductive reasoning is possible, right? And as Robert said, you guys are able to think in abstract and hypothetical terms. So you can think abstractly. You can also think in a scientific and logical manner. You would approach a problem in a scientific, systematic manner. For example, if you're trying to lock this door and you cannot, what would a young child do? If a young child cannot lock the door, what do they do? What do they do? They will kick the door. Some of them will start crying, right? Would you do that? No. You are going to systematically investigate, is there something in between? Is there a button to this door? Is the door jammed? Does it need some oiling? So we are capable of thinking in a systematic, in a scientific manner, right? Girls who like baking or boys who like cooking, when you cook something and it doesn't turn out the way it should be, you don't start crying. You start thinking, what did I do wrong? Did I bake it for too long? I need to try another recipe and put less baking soda and bake it for less temperature. So these are all examples of scientific, systematic, abstract thinking, right? Even hypothetical thinking. You do not know if it is baking soda that's ruining your baking, right? So this is one significant component of adolescent thinking. Are you happy about it, that you can think critically? Yes. Okay. Now, the other important concept of adolescent thinking is metacognition. Can I see your hands? How many of you know about this term? Metacognition? Okay, a simple definition of metacognition is thinking about your own thinking. Does it make sense? Thinking about your own thinking. Okay, so metacognition applies not only to learning and problem solving. Metacognition also applied to some social topics, right? Can you give me one example of metacognition? You are able to, adolescents have not so highly developed, but yes, you have begun to develop metacognitive abilities. What are those? It could be in social condition, or it could be in academic, learning, and problem-solving condition. What do you understand? Any example that you can give me? Can you turn on your microphone? Great, thank
you. I will think how to make my learning more effective and how to remember things faster.
Very good. Looks like Gray knows metacognition. Metacognition, you are able to read something, let's say, and then, you are able to ask yourself, did I understand just now whatever I read, right? And then you would say, I think I do not understand these 3 words. I need help. Someone help me explain these 3 words so I can make a better sense out of my reading. This is an example of metacognition. Anybody else would like to share an example of metacognition? You are able to look through your own thinking. You're able to evaluate your own thinking. Any one example? Yes, Nancy, could you turn off your... Thank you.
Self-assessment and self-reflection.
Awesome. Self-assessment, self-reflection. Remember in the beginning of the class, I gave her compliment that you look good, right? Because you colored your hair, right? So, did you look at yourself and try and ask you, oh, this color looks better than the previous one? It is the ability to reflect, to evaluate, or to self-assess. Thank you, Nancy. This is great. So, you are hypothetical and abstract thinkers. You guys have the ability to, ability for metacognition, and you guys also have this ability. Now, what is it? I'm going to give you 30 seconds to have a look at it and tell me, what is it? Okay, Vivi is smiling, so she got it. Nancy is smiling. Now I see few other people smiling. You got it right. What is it? Okay, sarcasm and jokes are the words that you will find in your psychology textbooks. Meme is a very new word. Do you have memes as well, right? I mean, I know the Chinese culture. So when I was growing up, there were lots of jokes being told verbally. But now you guys don't say jokes, you don't speak jokes, you just go through the memes and you send the memes to your friends. Now, if I were to show this, when your boss asks for proof, you are in hospital. If I were to show this to a 4-year-old kid, do you think he or she is going to have a good laugh? No? Why do you think so? You would say, of course, they can't read. Okay? So let's say a 7-year-old who can read. Okay? When your boss asks for proof, you are in hospital. Do you think a 7 or 8-year-old who can read would be laughing at this meme? Yeah? No, of course, no, right? So the sense of jokes or sarcasm is not yet developed in young children. However, adolescents are, of course, because your brains are getting cleverer, you are making sense of hypothetical and abstract situation. These kinds of jokes are very popular, and you start cracking those jokes on each other. Yes? You do that, right? We are going to talk more about it when we talk about peers relationship in adolescence. How common it is to crack jokes. I do not know in Chinese culture. Do you have any boundaries to tease each other or joke? Are there any boundaries? Or you can be very honest with your friends? You can, yeah? We say, yeah, you can, right? So, you can be sarcastic, right? Wow, you look cool today, right? When your friend is not well dressed, okay? Or you can just say, like she just colored her hair, right? You can just pass any remark which could be maybe not so pleasant, but you don't mean it, you just want to have fun. Adolescents have the ability to translate that sarcasm, okay? Now, this I'm talking about, oh, by the way, did you look at this guy? He put his earphones into his nostrils, and he's got this bandage, which looks like he's super sick. I'm explaining to you, thinking you are kids. You understood it, right? So sarcasm is something which is not said explicitly, clearly to you. What do I mean? You need to have that intelligent ability to understand what the other person is saying. So sarcasm is not always joking, but it is also sometimes trying to pull your legs or trying to put you down. So adolescents have developed this ability. If you say anything to a young child, he doesn't even understand. Like, you know, hey, you look like a fat bear, cuddly bear. He doesn't understand. But if somebody says this to you, you have developed this ability to understand what's happening. Okay? Now, I am going to give you all 3 minutes, and I expect you're all sitting in your groups, right? Is this a group? Excellent. Is that a group? No. If you're not sitting with your group, you may want to move to your group members, and if you don't mind, you can just discuss with your friends. The question is, do you think it is all right to send old parents to a comfortable old age home so that we can live our own lives without worrying to take care of our old friends? Now, I'm going to give you 3 minutes and I'm going to say stop. You need to have one leader in each group share their answers, maybe in 3 to 4 lines. Okay? 1, 2, 3, go. Please choose the person who's going to speak. The question is here. going to call out your group numbers, so make sure there is one person from each group to share their responses. One more minute. Okay. Looks like everyone is ready. Can we start? Even though you still have few seconds left. Oh, wow. Yes, Robert and Giona are still discussing. This is good. All right, who would volunteer, or we could start with group 1. Awesome, great.
Hello. Oh,
Yes.
I'm group 1, and personally, I think it depends. But our group answer is, we should send them to the old age home. There are 2 reasons. The first one is different lifestyle habits. Like taking a sample, like my grandpa maybe prefer the warmer air conditioner temperature, and for me, I'm like a penguin. I like colder.
Yes.
And the second one is it may be a little dangerous for the old people who stay home alone. If there's some urgent accident, it may be take damage to their lives or something like that. So there's 2 reasons that we think we should send them to the
Great.
old age home.
Thank you very much.
Mhm.
That was a great answer. Group 2. Yes, baby. Yes, please turn on. You have a button here which you press, so your microphone will be turned on. Thank you, Vivi.
We're group 2, and we think that it depends on our parents' will. Like maybe they want to go to the old age home. Maybe they can get more friends in there, or maybe they want to more freely living, so we can get them nanny or called housekeeping services, so they'll be more comfortable living in their own house. So I think, yeah, we think that it depends on them.
It depends on their choices. Great, thank you. Number 3. Okay, Nancy.
We also think it depends, but it depends on our time and effort, because sometimes old parents often think that our kids also have to take care of their kids, take care of their work, their family. If we could go to an old age home, we may help them to live more relaxed. So if we could have more time and effort to take care of our old parents, that's all right. We could take care of them by ourselves. But if we don't have enough time and effort, send to a good old age home may be a good choice.
Great, thank you very much. That was a great response. Group 4. Do we have a group 4, right?
Yeah.
Okay, great.
So I think I won't send my parents to old age home, and the first reason is I think what they truly need is our company, and the second reason is I think some parents will say that they're willing to go to the old age home because they want to be the trouble of our life. So at that time, I think what we need is to give them the confidence that we will take care of them. And the third reason is in China, many parents want to take care of our baby,
Yes.
and they think it will make them feel
Useful.
yes,
They are useful.
yeah, and that's all.
Great, thank you, Gray. All right, group 5.
Yes, our group think it is not right to send old parents to those home without worrying to take care of them, because firstly we think although it is okay to send them to that home, but we have to go to that home and visit them for frequently, and I think according to Erickson, there's a stage for those old people called ego integrity versus this despair.
Right.
So, if we didn't go to see our parents, they may feel like they didn't achieve their goal of life, and they may feel despair. So it's not good for them, and it is important to us to maintain our attachment with our parents.
Thank you so much. Would you like to give yourself a big round of applause? Because all answers are great answers. These are wonderful answers. These kind of questions are asked when you go for entrance exams, because the examiner would like to see your critical thinking abilities, of course, as well as your articulation abilities. Your responses were amazing, especially in Chinese context, because I'm surprised to see how old people play such an important role in Chinese society, right? Where I live, I do not see any young people. In the evening, all I see is old people, and as Robert and Gray were talking about, they take care of young children, right? And they look after their grandchildren. Now, if we were to sit down and we had enough time and we look at each responses, there are some important qualities that emerge from your responses. One, you guys are pretty critical. You can think right and wrong, right? Okay. Now, some of you try to take one stand. Oh, it is right to send parents to old age homes because this is good for them. You also gave justification for your choices. Some of you decided to stand in between, like it is okay and maybe it is not okay. It depends on parents. And this is the primary characteristic of adolescence thinking. I gave you, your answers can be seen, your answers, your responses to that question about old age can be understood with these. Perry's model of cognitive development. I had shared that document with you, and maybe you read it, but I think now the document that you read would make more sense to you. Look at the first level of your critical thinking. Dualistic thinking. Dual, do you know the word dual means two? So, look, this is from the same write-up that I had shared with you, and what does it say? Adolescence and first year college student. I know in this course I have some juniors, I don't have any seniors, but I have juniors and I also have freshmen in this course. So, dualistic thinking applies to freshmen, first year college. They tend to think in terms of right and wrong, either or, right? Dualistic thinking. So something is either right or wrong, or a statement is true or false. However, as you grow older and you go in your 20s, you begin to develop multiplistic thinking. What does it mean? You begin to understand that every issue can have two sides, as you guys, most of your responses were. Most of you gave your responses, but they may want to go and they may not want to go. And you also gave reasons. So you guys are here because you said there are two or more sides of grandparents or your old parents' story. And then as you grow older, you begin to develop relativist point of view in your thinking. And what is that? You begin to recognize that there are competing views. One view can be stronger than the other view. We don't have enough time for this session, but in your psych major, you will be doing your contemporary issue in psychology. In that class, you will be debating. Okay, that is your senior seminar class. You would be debating. If I had enough time, I would ask Gray to stand up, and Lee, Gray and you can compete. Your point of view was they should go to old age house because, and he had certain strong arguments why should they go. However, Gray had his point of view, they should stay at home because they have their roles. And Robert substantiated his argument with Erickson's last stage. So I've got two views in my class strongly saying they should stay, and I also have few views in this class saying they should go. We could have a debate in this class. At this stage, you begin to understand, oh, looks like Gray's point was more persuasive. I think Gray makes more sense than this group. It can happen, or it can happen other way around. You would stand up and you would argue your point so strongly that this group would like to change their opinions. So you come to the last stage of your thinking, which is called commitment. Okay, and commitment means you commit yourself to a certain point of view in anything, right? Sending sending parents to old age. We could have a debate about should your parents check your mobile phones, right? So you would have yes and no. If you ask my early adolescent son, his answer would be no, of course, right? But as you grow older, you develop that there can be yes and there can be no, and then you would learn to compare each perspective. Finally, you will reach to a point where you will be able to take one stand. Isn't it beautiful? You guys are growing more rational. Just think about it after this class, how you guys are moving from dualistic to committed. Right? So once you reach the last stage, you are really, really intellectual. You are rational human beings, isn't it? So don't forget, we looked at Piaget, right? We talked about metacognition, and now we talked about 4 different types of cognitive thinking models given by Perry. Okay, I have another question quickly with you so that you guys are not sleeping. You will take a Menti poll. What is it? I'm going to show quickly my screen to you. Give me a moment. Yeah, because it gets stuck. My mouse gets stuck when I get out of the presentation mode. All right, so what you're going to do now is take a quick poll. Can you see the screen? Okay, so present. Sorry. Okay, here we go. You have to go to menti.com, menti.com. It's going to ask you for a code, and the code is 27194419. If you're able to enter, you will be able to see this. I think I will die soon if I smoked every day. What do you think about this statement? I've got one answer. I've got 2 answers. I think I will die soon if I smoked every day. 15 people, 16 people are participating, 18 people are participating, 19 people are participating. It is an anonymous participation. Okay, sure. Okay, it will be warmer in a while. Sorry, Isar. If you feel cold, let me know, right? Wow, agree. I think I will die soon if I smoked every day. Who are these 8 people? I think the 8 boys in my class. I'm just kidding. Okay, thank you very much. 26, some people are still writing. 19 people believe that if they smoke every day, they are going to die. Because I have so many girls in my class, and I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 boys in my class. All right. Another question, which I think, again, it's a little gender biased question. I should have thought about it. My class has a lot of girls. I'm confident that I can drive on highway. Highways, you know, highways, yeah. I'm confident that I can drive on highway. Don't forget, some of you do not have license yet, right? What's the legal age in China? 18? Oh, so you guys are not 18 yet. But you still think you can drive on highway, which is great. So 30 people have responded. Very little disagree. Most of you agree you can drive. I just wanted to remind you all that by Chinese law, you don't have the license yet. It means most of you can drive already. No, you can drive, but you think you can drive. Awesome. That's confidence. The last question. It's safe to return back home around 2 a.m. after my partying with my friends. I can be back safely. Oh, yeah, of course it is safe. What do you think, Professor? We can't make it home? Thank you. 28. 2 more people are just thinking, is it safe or not? All right. Oh, great participation. Would you like to take a picture? So when I speak, you can see what our responses were. 19 people out of 28 believe it is safe to return home after I have partied. Now, I know China is pretty safe. There is no danger. But when I say partying, you went party, you're coming late at night, or maybe you just now said, all of you said that you can drive on highways. Oh, sorry. Here, most of you feel, like a lot of you feel confident driving on highway when I know you don't have your licenses yet, and you think you can come back from party very safe, which is a good news. However, I'm a little surprised with this answer. A lot of people agree that if you smoke every day, you might die. And I think it is a gender-biased question. I have 8 boys. I'm sure they disagree. So thank you. Why was I asking you these questions? If you're interested, I can send the survey to you. I was asking you this question because, have a look here. This is a graph coming from a huge study. In my study, currently, 30 participants, like you guys, participated. In this study, I think more than 2,000 participants participated. And the same question were asked. So these are adults, and the light green is adolescents. So adolescents who are non-smokers, who have never smoked, okay? So if I could smoke for a few years and then I quit if I wanted to. Non-smokers said it is difficult. Agree, it's difficult for both of them. But the people who were smoking, they were so confident. Yes, I can stop smoking. Look at the confidence. Isn't it amazing? Right? So, why does this happen to adolescents? You know why does this happen? I'm just quickly going to the slides. This kind of thinking happened in adolescence because of the three types of egocentrism. I am not sure again if you did it in your Psych 1000. Adolescents have three types of egocentrism. Those three are given by Alkind. Adolescent egocentrism are made up of imaginary audiences, mythological fable, and personal fable. The example that you gave right now falls in mythological fable. You know what's that mythological fable? Mythological fable is this. Invincible. If you do not know the meaning of this term, invincible. Nothing can happen. I am the God. Adolescents have this thinking that all the bad things happen to somebody else. It can never happen to me. You can see an example. I can text and drive and nothing will happen to me. The ability of adolescents to think of, to assess risk is very low. And adolescents tend to overestimate their powers. Remember, you guys? We don't have the license, but we think we can drive on highway. And we also think we can come back from party on time, right? And we also think smoking won't kill, especially boys in this class. So this is one key characteristic given by Alkind. Do not forget. I was thinking that you might have done that in your Psych 1000. So three type of adolescence: egocentrism. The second one, the one mythological fable, and the first one is the imaginary audience. Okay, an imaginary audience I think is more popular among early adolescents, like my son. Did I tell you he stopped wearing shorts because he's got a lot of hair on his legs? And even though it is so hot, he's always wearing full pants. He goes to tennis in full pants. Why? According to him, everybody is looking at his legs. Do you think it's possible? But he's got those imaginary audiences. Look at this funny example. Parents are singing, or I don't know, they have turned on loud music in the car, and this early adolescent is showing, I am not related to them, right? You guys maybe are a little bit mature, but remember when you were in school, high school, you didn't want your mom to do anything awkward because everybody is looking, and you're so conscious when you walk. You do things because you guys think everybody is watching you, right? Maybe not at this stage. I think you're a little bit mature, but it depends on our subjective experiences. Some adults like me are still conscious. Everybody's looking at me, but I know nobody has the time to look at you, right? Now, the third fable is the imaginary audiences, the mythological, invincible me, and the last one is personal fable, which everybody would agree with me. Personal fable is no one knows what I'm going through. Don't speak to me. You can't understand. You disconnect your mother's phone. Do not waste your time. You don't understand what I'm going through. Most adolescents think their lives are extraordinary, right? The pain that you're feeling or the difficulties you are experiencing in your life are unique to you. You do not have that kind of ability to think that other people might have the similar problems, because you're too focused on your sufferings. And you are like, we sometimes, like when I was your age, I like to pity myself. I don't have this. I'm struggling with this. This is wrong. This is wrong. And so despite achieving hypothetical, abstract thinking ability, metacognition, your social cognition is still not so developed. Is that okay? So do not forget the three egocentrism, the three components of egocentrism by Elkind. Now, where is this egocentrism coming from? Do you guys remember this? Yes? Do you remember this experiment? I'm going to give you 2 minutes to have a look at this experiment. Do you remember this experiment in Piaget's theory of cognitive development? Right? What is happening? This boy is asked to explain what little Timmy can see. Right? If you remember your Psych 1000. What is the answer of this boy? What Timmy can see? What's the answer? According to him, what can Timmy see? Can you turn on the microphone? Yes, Gray. Timmy can see.
Which one is Timmy?
Oh, sorry. Okay, this is the Davy, the doll. Gray, good question. Doll, and this is little Timmy.
Okay.
So we ask little Timmy, what do you think the doll can see?
The small mountain.
You think you think Timmy's response would be the doll can see the small mountain? Do you think so?
No. I think Timmy will think the door only can see the big mountain.
Do you agree with Gray? Because, thank you, Gray, and it's a correct answer, because Timmy has not developed the ability to take somebody else's perspective. What he can see is the truth. He cannot put his foot in the doll's shoe and see the doll can see only the small mountain, and Timmy is sitting here, he can see the big mountain. If you ask Timmy what doll can see, Timmy is going to say, oh, the doll can also see the big mountain. This was covered in your Psych 1000 class, if you forgot. So this concept of egocentrism was part of pre-operational stage. Remember? However, Elkind's egocentrism is a little different one. It applies to adolescence. And his egocentrism is about so much focus on yourself and extraordinary estimation of your own abilities. So adolescents, today you have an opportunity, think about your own thinking. Metacognition, oh, this is how we think and this is how we make sense of the world around us. Okay, let me quickly come back to almost the last slide before we will do some kind of revision. Problem solving and critical thinking abilities. So I would also connect it with the survey that I just showed you, right? So You guys have reached almost the top level of thinking according to Piaget. And according to Perry, you are moving towards from dualistic to multiplistic. However, your critical thinking and your, let me go back, your problem solving abilities are very different. So remember the 3 stages of adolescence: early adolescence, late adolescence, and of course we have emerging adults. So the studies have shown that these 3 stages have different cognitive abilities. I think one reason girls like to date boys older than them, because girls are here, the thinking abilities are not so strong. You get so fascinated with emerging adults, right? Because you think that they have better thinking abilities or decision-making abilities than that you do. So most studies comparing adolescents and adults have found that adolescents take more risk than adults on hot tasks that have an immediate outcome or feedback. So if I gave that question about smoking and driving car, give that question to your big brother, big cousin, or even to your mother. You would see the responses would significantly differ from your responses, right? Because your ability to assess risk. Adolescents may be able to show the same level of cognitive abilities as adult in making decision. Adolescent may make different decisions because they are affected by so many things here: emotions, peer pressure. We will be talking about all of these in our next unit. So right now the answer: smoking will not kill me. You want to show yourself macho in front of your friends. It's okay to smoke. You guys do not even have license, but you believe you can drive on highway, which is okay because you want to show off to your peers, or sometimes you believe too much in yourself and your capabilities. Remember when you were young, you all wanted to become astronauts, scientists, right? Your professions' names were so big because of our limited ability to assess risk. Is that okay? All right. So we are almost come to an end. I will quickly go and revise what we did today so that I can give you a small quiz. We visited Piaget, right? And in Piaget in particular, we talked about hypothetical deductive reasoning abilities that adolescents have. We talked about metacognition. We talked about adolescents' ability to understand jokes and sarcasm. We also talked about Perry's, the 4 phases of Perry's cognitive development model. We talked about problem solving and critical thinking abilities, and I showed you the graph, and we also did our study. So yeah, social cognition is a part of Alkine's egocentrism. This is how we think about society and people around us. And egocentrism. Do not forget the imaginary audiences, mythological fable, and personal fable. Yes, go ahead. You have a question.
Yeah, I have a question about last PowerPoints, the egocentrism one.
Yes.
Yeah, I just wondering, those 3 are features, they can exist in the same time, or it's like a stages transfer from to another stage?
Very good question. Awesome. Okay, when you read Alkine's egocentrism, he does not propose them as developmental, like Piaget does. Piaget's theory is developmental. However, you can go back to your textbook and see the critiques of Piaget's developmental theory. According to some people, it is not necessary you will move stage by stage. Some people jump few stages. So it's a good question. These are 3 separate components actually. So you don't find in any text which says that they will all progress from one point to another point. These can occur in different, depends on situations and in different contexts. All right, so we've got 5 minutes left. Let's do a Kahoot, which I planned to do last week and I didn't have the time, but I think we have 5 minutes left. Let's do our Kahoot. Get ready quickly. And let's see if you guys were listening. Okay. Isa, you can join as well. Here we have 5 questions and play. Okay. I'm sure you guys have played it before. Classic, and it is loading. So you guys have to go to kahoot.it and the code is 2710168. 2710168. Let me see. There are 5 questions. Just 5 questions. Let me see if you were listening carefully or not. If you have any difficulty logging in, let me know. Yeah. So there are some clever students who are coming now with anonymous names. You do not have to write your names if you feel embarrassed, but if you feel confident, you can come with your real names so that we will know who is the winner. Social crab. I don't know who's that. What is it in Chinese? What does it say? What does it say? Sleepy? Dinosaur. It doesn't say boring professor. Thank you. Okay. 26. Is anyone having difficulty logging in? 27. 2 more. Oops, somebody dropped out. Okay. All right. So I will start, and those who are 29, that's great. So let's start. 1, 2, 3, go. I like the music. Which stage of Piaget's cognitive development concerns adolescents? You guys can read the question up here. Which stage of Piaget's cognitive development concerns adolescents? It's an easy peasy question. So 5, 6, 7 people were sleeping and 7 were awake and rest did not answer. Oh my God, quiz 1 is due on week 6. Yay, Robert and I do not listen. You're listening very well. Great. Let's move on to true and false. Everybody should be able to answer this. Accommodation, remember? Piaget's assimilation and accommodation. Accommodation is incorporating new ideas into existing knowledge. True 15, false 13. So it tells me 2 things. Your Psych 1000 is forgotten, and number 2, you did not review the pre-readings, okay? All right. So better get ready for your quiz, right? Okay, Robert and I do not listen. I do not listen. You listen well, actually. You listen very well. So, metacognition is thinking about your own thinking. This has to be 100% correct. If it is... Ooh! Who are those three people? The three people in the class? You need to revise your lessons very well. Okay. Yay! The same people. Iona is doing well. HRS, I do not know. I know Iona. Okay. Fourth question. Which one of the following is not related to Perry's cognitive model? Remember, we did 4 stages of Perry's cognitive model: dualistic, multiple thinking, relativist thinking, and metacognitive thinking. Again, it's a very, very, very easy question. Remember the 4 stages we should send our parents? Yes or no? Multiple, there is a right answer and a wrong answer. Relativist, oh, his arguments are stronger than mine. And metacognition is not part of Perry's model. So some guys are really, really not listening, okay? 5, 6, 12 people not listening. So, look, Robert, Iona, I do not listen so well, and the other people. The last question. The imaginary audience fable is, nothing will happen to me. No one understands my problem. Everyone is looking at me and talking about me, and I cannot do it ever. Again, super easy question if you were listening. 3, 3, 6, 7, 8. These 8 people, meet me after the class. Okay, that was a super easy question. And let's see who the winner is. I do not listen. Who's that? Would you like to identify yourself? Oh, Isar, not counted. Not counted. Isar is a senior. Robert and Iona. Give them a big hand, Robert and Iona. Thank you, everyone. See you on Thursday. Bye-bye, and have a good day. Bye-bye.